Alright, so it looks like it's time for yet another executive to have that damn seat. And this time it's Vice President of Bethesda, Pete Hines. Now, good old Pete Hines says that Nintendo didn't approach developers soon enough during the Wii U's development, which I find hilarious because there was quite a bit of third-party support and announcements for the Wii U before launch, during the unveiling. Seems like quite a lot of people knew about the system very early on. Now, I'm going to read a quote from him. He says, "You have to do what Sony and Microsoft have been doing with us for a long time. It's not that every time we met with them we got the answers that we wanted, but they involved us early on, talking to folks like Bethesda and Gearbox saying, here's what we're doing, here's what we're planning, here's how we think it's going to work, to hear what we thought from our tech guys and from an experience standpoint." Now, that's pretty funny to me that he would bring up Gearbox in particular, because Gearbox has gone on record saying that they were one of the first developers, third-party developers, that Nintendo told about the Wii U very, very early on in its development. Interesting. He then goes on to say, you have to spend an unbelievable amount of time upfront doing that. If you're going to decide, well, we're just going to make a box and this is how it's going to work and you should make games for it, well, no. No is my answer. Now, that right there is what I find freaking hilarious. Why? Because what he said before. They need to do what Sony and Microsoft have been doing with us for a long time. Sony and Microsoft. Now Microsoft, I'll give them Microsoft. With the 360, they did listen to developer feedback. They did do exactly what he's saying that they should be doing. That's what Microsoft did with the 360. But Sony? Really? Really? Sony developed their systems with developers in mind? The PlayStation 2? No. The PlayStation 3? Hell no. Are you serious? So you're saying that Sony went to developers, asked them for feedback, and the developers said, hey, you know what will really help us? Give us a CPU that's so hard for us to develop for that we don't see any good results until about 3 or 4 years into the lifespan. Thanks, Sony. No. And what's even more hilarious is the fact that not only was the PS3 probably the hardest system to develop for ever, outside of maybe the Sega Saturn, which had freaking 3 CPUs in '95, not only was that super hard to develop for, they were one of the first developers making games for the freaking system. The PlayStation 3 was not developer friendly, extremely hard to develop for, yet these same dudes had Oblivion running on the PS3 near launch. That's kind of interesting. Kind of interesting. Look, I'm going to tell you the real reason why Bethesda doesn't want to make Wii U games. The Wii U has no built-in hard drive. The reason why developers like Bethesda in particular need a built-in hard drive is because they release unfinished games to retail. Unfinished games. So without a built-in hard drive, you can't put that mandatory 4 or 5 gig install. Without a big built-in hard drive, you can't do all those 1 gig, 2 gig updates. You don't believe me? You don't believe me? Ask anyone, ask a PlayStation 3 owner that bought Skyrim at launch and ask them, How playable was that game when it came out? How playable was that? Did you even get in the game? And I bet you guys would be like, oh, Dr. Trey, you're overhyping this. No. You don't believe me? Do yourself a favor. Go on Google. Type in PlayStation 3, Skyrim, and unplayable. And you will come up with a bunch of search results. They don't want to make their games for the Wii U. Wii U doesn't have a built-in hard drive, which means they'll actually have to release complete games on the Wii U. Oh my gosh. They'll actually have to bug test. Oh no. Bethesda, don't give me that. We don't support you because you didn't consult us before making your system crap. PlayStation 3 was the hardest system to develop for ever, and you made launch games for it. Exposed. Your last game for the PlayStation 3 had more bugs in it than the underwear of a Las Vegas hooker. Have that seat.